Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Paul, and this is
Along the Way.
Glad to have you with us. We thought perhaps today, for our Healthy Church tip, we would talk about taking a weekly Sabbath rest, taking a day off. So, do you want to start that one, or do you want me to start?
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When Paul was in college, he would work, attend school, work on his school papers, and then gave very little time to the family. What he could, he did, but he never took a day off. And when we went to the orientation for his seminary, one of the things that was brought up was you need to take the Sabbath. You need to take a day off. And once he was in seminary, it wasn't just work and school full time. It was also ministry. You started preaching and doing a lot of that. And so it was just like 24/7 work.
It was, and many of you don't see yourselves as workaholics, and perhaps you're not, but you are under pressure. And many pastors of smaller churches are working bivocationally. Statistics tell us that's probably going to increase in the future. And then that's not a bad thing, but it does put a lot of pressure on time, puts a lot of pressure on your family. It puts a lot of pressure on you because you want to be there for your family. You want to do your best for ministry. You want to do your best on a job. You want to do your best at school. It just seems like there's never enough time. So.
And there isn't.
And in some ways there isn't. Time is like money, though. There are all kinds of ways that you can spend it. You just can't create it. So it's always a matter of dividing it up and doing it wisely.
Mm-hmm.
So I got challenged in those days to do it wisely. So go ahead and explain that.
Well, basically, they said you should, and the Bible says God created the Sabbath for us.
Practically speaking, she was asking me to take Saturdays off because our kids were in school. Saturday was the day they had home. She was home. The only one that wasn't home was me. And usually I was out swinging a paintbrush or something like that on a Saturday. So it was unbelievably difficult for me mentally to come to grips with taking a whole day off.
I started, though, with just a night off.
Yes, she did.
I weaned him into this.
She did. With she got my grudging permission in the beginning because I knew she was right. I just didn't know how it would work. And my biggest fear was that I would fail. I wouldn't preach well. I wouldn't have enough time for papers. I wouldn't have enough time for anything. And in that, practically speaking, I was forgetting my first priority, and that's my family. And I love my wife. I love my kids, and I didn't want to neglect them. But I had all of these other responsibilities that were weighing on me. So I accepted the challenge. Began with Saturday nights. Gradually
No, it began with Friday nights.
Friday nights, was it? Gradually worked into Saturdays. And that meant I had to have my sermon done by Friday, or at the very least, early Sunday morning, I would get up to finish and tweaking, things like that. Try to mentally pull myself away from that impending sermon that had to be given. But I've discovered that after giving it some time, that I was better. I was fresher mentally, fresher spiritually. I was more rested so I could enjoy my family and not be as tightly wound. That
Yeah.
be fair?
Yeah.
Take a day off, guys. Take a day off. God knew what he was doing when he created the Sabbath rest. He designed us, and he designed us for rest. And that doesn't mean just sleep on the couch. We had great times as a family.
Well, and one of the things I would do was come up with creative ways to spend our time together, and things we could do as a family that didn't cost much money,
That's right.
or if any at all. And one of my kids, our kids' favorite memories is making kites. And we made kites and then went to the beach to fly those kites.
Yeah.
They didn't fly so well, but that was okay. That didn't
It didn't matter. It really didn't. The fun was in making them. It was in trying them. It was going to the beach. It was
Yep.
just being a family and having fun like
And they
that.
still talk about that, and
They
it's
do.
some 30 some odd years later.
One of my, honestly, one of my greatest rewards is that now, as our kids are adults and parents themselves, to hear them say they never felt neglected by their dad, which was my biggest fear. I didn't want my wife to feel neglected. I didn't want my kids to feel neglected. And our kids grow up talking about how their childhood was a good childhood. They felt that we were fully engaged as parents. I am so grateful because I didn't feel that way. I felt I never had enough time for Lynn, for kids. But the time I did have, I threw myself into it. And so I encourage you to do the same.
So take that day off.
Yeah, take
You
that day
really
off.
do need it.
Yeah. Your wife will appreciate it. Your kids will appreciate it. In the long run, you will too. You
Yep.
will too.
Yep. So this is Lynn,
And this is Paul.
and this is Along the Way. Like,
Yep.
subscribe,
Questions and comments?
share, whatever all the bells and whistles
Yeah.
that you need to do.
Anything you can do to encourage others, if this has been an encouragement to you, pass it on. We greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to engaging with you again next week with another tip